attack, it made sense to me.
Yeah, I just think, though, with Gvardiol, he could play a number of positions. But in the overall, I think they're very good in midfield, and Luka Modric absolutely leads the way in that respect. But I think, you know, with Kovacic and Perisic, I just think at times they're in search of answers in other areas of the pitch. I think they're in search of answers in wide positions, at the striker role. I don't think from an attacking standpoint, I don't really think that they... And look, let's be very clear.
Croatia beat Panama.
Positions to create chances, and I just think that Panama lacked cool heads in the final third, and that's the reason why they're going out of the tournament. I thought they were better than Ghana for the lion's share of that game, and also this is sort of an interesting one because we have to track the progress of these hydration breaks as they go on throughout the tournament. I thought tonight's hydration break in the second half completely altered the trajectory of the game. If you go back in the 5 minutes before that hydration break, they're piling on the pressure. I think they hit the crossbar. They had a great chance from a set piece. And then all of a sudden the hydration break happens. Croatia can go back into their huddle. They can figure things out with the manager Dalic, and then they went again. I think that was another one where this artifice of this World Cup, it was 72 degrees tonight in Toronto. There was no need for a hydration break. This artifice of this World Cup, I think, completely altered the game, and I think Panama might have been able to get one without that hydration break.
It is a great point, especially when minnow nations are basically having a moment in the game. You know you've got 45 minutes to really get after it. Momentum is huge as you're building up. You almost feel a goal is coming, and then to have that automatic stop, to Chris's point of view right there, it's huge for a team like Croatia, where they can bring their players back down to earth. They can tactically reshuffle how to stop the momentum from Panama and then go again. And I think Croatia played it perfectly. But that's what you got to do right now. I mean, we're hearing from the commentator, it's 4 quarters now that we're seeing in the game. And it is very frustrating for teams. Obviously, this was a big moment for Panama, right? The second time now they've been eliminated on match day 2. Tonight I was disappointed, though. They had more shots in that second half, but again, to Chris's point of view, where's that quality coming from, right? Where's that moment coming from? Where's that goal scorer? Or even, I would go a step further and say, where's the belief? It was almost just a hope that they could actually win this game, a hope that they could get back into this game, rather than knowing, Adam, that they had the quality to be able to do so.
Yeah, withstanding and creating momentum is such a part of football. We see it all the time, and this hydration break system does artificially introduce that into the game for the team that's maybe got the momentum, or the team that's trying to chase it.
Yeah.
You cover the CONCACAF nations a lot when you do your commentaries, Witty. How do you think they've performed so far? We've had some who've done brilliantly. Obviously, the bigger nations, USA getting both of those wins. Canada came back, roaring back in their second game. Others have struggled, and we've had Panama eliminated. Generally, how do you think they're getting on the world stage?
I think the second tier of CONCACAF is where the growth has to occur. And I think it is interesting. Those teams are usually Costa Rica, who got all the way to a quarterfinal in 2014. Honduras are usually in there. They have fallen off quite significantly. And so I think Jamaica as well are a team that have fairly significantly disappointed. But, excuse me. Those are teams that are not at this tournament. For the teams that are at this tournament, Curacao, I think, obviously impressing by getting the point against Ecuador. But you mentioned, obviously, now Panama out and Haiti are out as well. And I think they would be, you know, think of themselves as underdogs. And Panama have only ever scored 1 goal at the World Cup. They couldn't add to it. The thing that would be frustrating is, again, the performances were largely good. They were largely in a good position in games to do something, to get something. I think they're ready for that next step. But now the worry for them, and we talked about this a bit off air as well, is that Panama are aging. This is an aging team. It's been the same name. You can almost close your eyes and, all right, there's Barcenas out there, and there's Fajardo up front, and you see so many of these guys, Puma Rodriguez on one side. These guys have basically been the same generation, which, to be fair, have lifted Panamanian football to an incredibly high level. They got to a Gold Cup final. They got to a Nations League final. They obviously qualified for multiple tournaments. This has been a great generation of Panamanian players, but where's the next one? It's very difficult for a nation as small as Panama to keep that level of talent coming through.
Average age 29 in this group, and there were 3 players 30 or above. Listen, Christensen's had a great run as well. Let's make no mistake about it. It was very, very good what he has done. Obviously, getting to a World Cup, you would have to say, because of the 3 host nations. That's why they're probably there, this group. But they've had an incredible run, and they deserve to have another pop at a World Cup. But again, unfortunately, they've just not been able to find a way to win games. And when you get to a FIFA World Cup, what I want to see from the CONCACAF nations is bravery. Excellent tactically, very compact, made it difficult for Croatia, But the bravery has to come, and the moment of class has to come from these nations, smaller nations. You have to have a Carrasquilla to be able to unlock defences. You have to have a Fajardo who's on form to be able to take the chances when they arise in front of goal. It didn't happen for them again, Panama. Very disappointing from them. I love what they did do, though. There was a lot of heart there, a lot of passion. You could see the passion also from the supporters, and I'm sure they're obviously very proud of their team for the effort they've put into it. But I honestly think, like Chris does, that this aging group now is somewhat going backwards, and you have to now look at another generation of players, young players coming through. Where's that next group coming through that puts Panama back on the map again? Because if it doesn't happen, this will be the last time you see Panama at a World Cup for a period.
You mentioned the age. They are the oldest tournament team at this tournament.
Are they the
yeah,
oldest?
They're the average age of the oldest. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think when you now look going forward, this is one of the things about the 48-team tournament that I think will look different now into the future, is before, Panama qualifying for the World Cup was a one-off. You remember in 2018, they got there because the United States didn't.
Yes.
And they took advantage, and there was a goal that shouldn't have counted in their game. I'm not bitter about it. But there was a moment where it really felt like Panama, it was sort of a fluke. Now that 6 teams qualify, I think right now, you look at the table of CONCACAF teams, they're 4th. So it's about maintaining that project and then keeping it moving forward as well. Whereas I think if you look at some of the other teams, it's about jumping into that category. Panama are solidly in there. They perform well at Gold Cups. They perform well at Nations Leagues.
Under pressure, though, Chris, because you've got to imagine that Jamaica, teams like that, Jamaica, Costa Rica, they will not be happy that they've not been a part of this World Cup, right? No. So you will see at some point investment going into a structure to be able to either find players or develop players to then rejuvenate yourself as an association or a federation. Panama have had a great run, and it's been great to watch Christensen. I think he's in large part the reason why they got 2018, and also considered what they did do even against the United States of America in a game that you called as well, Chris, that they've had success in. They've had big games and big moments with a quality team. Where I remember one game, I think they played in San Diego. They played the US off the park in San Diego that day.
Gold Cup semi-final, yeah.
Wow, what a team. Every one of them were just, they knew their role. But yeah, I'm with Chris. I think this team's gone backwards, but it's been lovely to see them play.
I suppose also they did get a fairly difficult group. You'd class this as one of the tougher groups, and I actually think the way they've played, I mean, we can always say what if, can't we, when we look at the World Cup groups, but there would have been others where you'd think, okay, if they played like this, they probably would get out of it, at least as a third-place team.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're going into any group, no matter what group they're drawn into, as either the third or the fourth best team. The question is, when you play the other team that's maybe at your level, that's what the expanded World Cup can do. When they play Ghana come into this tournament struggling quite significantly. They come into this tournament trying to figure out their identity in their third game under a new coach. You largely play well in the game, you have to go win it. You absolutely have to take a chance in that game. They were pushing late on in that second half. The final 15 minutes, I thought they were very good in the game. And again, it's just a shortage of quality in attacking areas. And, you know, one team has got Antoine Semenyo, and you're still trying to figure out what you're doing in attacking areas. And Carrasquilla was your man, but it can't just be reliant on one player. And there are players who are decent. There are players who've had their moments. We saw Cecilia Waterman score a goal against the United States, which knocked them out of the Nations League. They've had good moments. But when it comes down to it at World Cup level, it doesn't matter. We can expand the tournament to 64, to 128. A team like Panama is still going to have to approach a game as an underdog and take advantage of their chances. And they ultimately just didn't do it. Of course. Every tournament is a step, and we're holding up, I think we're holding them against the standard which they themselves have set.
Right.
But I still think that they need to improve when it comes to the final third in those decisive moments.
Well, they did do defensively, right? They conceded 11 goals in the last World Cup in their group stage. And, of course, now you get to this point where they're not conceding goals. But I actually remember Trinidad and Tobago 2006. I was fortunate enough to play just ahead of the World Cup, play against that Trinidad team. And they had an element of just going for it, right? They were going to go and enjoy the moment and absolutely go for it. It may work for you. It may not work for you. I think maybe Panama did that in 2018, whereas this time they tactically tried to go in to not be beaten and not be beaten badly. They gave themselves a chance, but to your point, Adam, it's a very tough group. I had them finishing bottom of this group anyway, but they were almost close to getting something from both of those games, and that's a step in the right direction.
Well, here's what our friends at SofaScore have rated the Croatia players. So the highest rating from Budimir, the goal scorer, who came on as a substitute, 7.8 he got, having scored that winning goal fairly early on in the second half. Ian, how much credit does Zlatko Dalic deserve, really, for that halftime team talk? Because it was a really tight, difficult game to manage. It was almost like a game of chess, wasn't it, in the first half? And he found a way through in the second.
Yeah, listen, he's been with the national team for a long time now, and I think every single thing he says, these players listen to, and they basically abide by his ruling as to how he wants to play, how he wants to perform. If players come off, they know their rules.
And who knows, potentially replace Brazil at the top of the section in the process. First objective for them, to beat Haiti and hope for good news from Miami. Haiti will want to have their say as well, and there is a sense, Martin Keown, of a determination that it won't be a third defeat for them at this year's World Cup.
Yeah, but if you look at Morocco in the first two games, they were on fire, scoring after 70 seconds against Scotland, and I thought against Brazil they were amazing in those opening exchanges. So look, they get around you, it's high energy football for Morocco. Hakimi's at right back, and that's unusual to see. He could be the furthest forward player at times, and he's been outstanding in this World Cup so far.
See who has switched the play from one side to another. Morocco will look, having made changes for the first time in this World Cup, to settle into a rhythm quickly. Brahim Diaz for Hakimi, first touch of the World Cup for Sofiane Amrabat. El-Anaoui. Halhal is another who's getting his first taste of the action at the World Cup, having been unused in the opening two games.
Something that Diaz does a lot, although he starts on the right, he'll come into that central position acting as a 10 when it's free play.
Halhal. El Canus. Amrabat. Canus for El-Anaoui, for Brahim Diaz. El-Anaoui looks up and sees three blue shirts immediately in front of him.
I think Morocco are quite a lesson, aren't they, for all the top teams, how quickly that they shift the ball. One touch, two touch, and deliver.
That's on the pass. Just not quite as precise as it might have been from Neil El-Anaoui. First demonstration of a Moroccan threat.
El-Anaoui there is useful. He's looking for their movement. Just a bit too much on it. El-Kaabi, the striker today.
35 international goals, Sayoub El-Kaabi. You can see why they are looking to pick him out early on. Haiti have lost 4 of 6 games since they secured their place at the World Cup, with a little spell of wins that saw them jump up from 3rd in their qualifying group to top. Had to win the final 2 games to qualify automatically, and that's exactly what they did. Experience. Casemir.
I just sense they're just trying to get a foothold in this match, just trying to get comfortable, pass the ball around a little bit. They don't want to take some liberties. As soon as they go into that midfield area, there's a Moroccan player on their shoulder.
Delegard for Delcroix. He's tried something direct. Halhal can see it safely behind.
Well, Delcroix there has been forced into playing a long ball, but you need better quality than that.
He's still smiling despite the defeats.
And what they need is that kind of expression on the pitch. Loosen up.
Yassine Bono, with the experience of 2 previous World Cups behind him, albeit he watched on from the sidelines throughout 2018. Once again, though, in the Moroccan goal tonight. He's been pretty much unshiftable from that position for near on 8 years. El Kaabi. Hakimi. There's a threat here, and an early chance perhaps for Morocco. Haiti survive for now. Salah Adin. And towards El Kaabi. El Kaabi makes sure it doesn't reach him.
They just flood bodies forward, Morocco. Very difficult to deal with. Haiti have managed to get themselves out of trouble here beautifully.
For a moment, it looked like going from surviving to thriving. Maybe they still will. Here's Providence. Being roared on, away from Hakimi. And then Joseph went to ground, and he has been fouled by Amrabat. Haiti have a free kick.
Yeah, Amrabat there, overzealous really. It's just so Joseph's trying to protect the ball, it just shoves him over. And it's a good area here. This is Morocco trying to get forward, full back, trying to get that cross in. Needs a bit more quality on that. Look at the numbers, Morocco getting to the final third.
Felt quiet it was with the defending to prevent a Morocco goal. Now Jean-Luc Bellegarde standing over a free kick to see if Haiti can...
Well, you'll recognise him from Wolves. Made his debut for Haiti in, I think it was in March. Not been impressed with him in the World Cup so far. Maybe this is his moment. It's a long way out, by the way.
But he does go for goal, Jean-Luc Bellegarde. And it was close enough to the target for his manager to show some approval.
He certainly kept the goalkeeper honest. It's a decent effort from there, by the way. Keeper was comfortable in the end.
Hasn't yet scored for Haiti in 12 previous appearances, Jean-Luc Bellegarde, and he did only get one in the relegation season with Wolves. It came in a 4-1 defeat by Manchester United just before the end of last year.
Where I thought he was one of Wolves' best players, although in a really poor season.
Only given a little bit of time, but can't afford to be complacent with the ball at his feet. So again, look like they might be able to get bodies moving forward quickly. Brahim Diaz, though, sees the ball pinched away from him. Well, no goal so far in Atlanta, but there has been an early goal in Miami. Brazil looking to secure top spot in Group C, and a Scotland error has gifted Vinicius Junior the opportunity to put them in front.
Well, something you just can't afford to do, as we know.
Sort of response we're going to get from Morocco. They knew the task for them to finish ahead of Brazil was tricky. It's got a little bit harder with yet another goal that they would need to make up in the goal difference.
Some good efforts in there. Is it Jean-Jacques in midfield there? What? Unrecognisable in his performance. He looks really aggressive, just sitting deep in that midfield.
On his way to Casemir.
Held that up really well.
Now support from Duverne. And Haiti are in front. Lenny Joseph on the doorstep to seize his moment. Utter jubilation. 2 years and 1 day on from the last one, Haiti have a World Cup goal.
Wow, and we just said, didn't we, about how unrecognisable some of the performances were, and that was an outstanding move down that right-hand side. Joseph capitalising from really good work from Devan down that right-hand side. It's a lovely ball in as well, and look at this for a touch. Just holds the ball up and then just waits for support. Duvan's whips that ball in, he carries it nicely, and then look at this, a little flick, lets it go past him. I mean, that's a quality finish. Nobody picking him up. He's completely turned the tables here, Joseph.
Did not want to depart the World Cup without making an impression, and boy have Haiti made an impression on Morocco. The 2022 semi-finalists chasing top spot in Group C will need to do so from behind.
Well, we said before, didn't we, expect the unexpected, and we certainly didn't expect that.
Lenny Joseph, with a little bit of help of Yassine Bono, becomes just the second man ever to score for Haiti at a World Cup. Emmanuel Sanon got both of their goals in 1974. There he is again, inspired and galvanised by what's just happened.
Well, they're full of confidence right now. We looked into the supporters and we talked about how comfortable and relaxed they were, and the players have actually taken that on.
Hakimi powering forward. El-Kaabi, and it's strong fingertips from Placide to see the ball safely around the post.
Well, Placide there started to anticipate the cross and nearly gets embarrassed by the shot. El-Kaabi.
Now hanging around, Hakimi quickly to Brahim Diaz, back to his captain. Throw in off Casemir. El Canous. It's an excellent run. The pullback wasn't bad either. Saibari wasting an opportunity to equalise immediately.
Well, it's the player you want, isn't it, on the end of that great run. Saibari, he just reaches for it. He probably needs to make another adjustment to it. Could almost have controlled it. He's got that much time and space. He just skies it. This is the one that nearly catches the goalkeeper out. He's trying to anticipate a cross there. Nearly squeezes in on that near post.
Well, that's how things look now in Group C. Brazil going through top of the lot. Morocco would hold on to second place with 4 points. Haiti would join Scotland on 3, but they would be victims of the change to head-to-head from goal difference. There's absolutely nothing they can do about finishing above Scotland. Saibari taking aim, blocked. Still Morocco come, El Canous. Saibari trying to work the way across the face of goal, but no way past Devern.
No, Devern set up that first goal, and he's got a hand in keeping that. He's going to have to do lots of defending, by the way. I think that's been taken a little bit early. The referee not ready.
They rattled Morocco, and that has been demonstrated by the urgency with which they are now going about their business. Hakimi delivers. It wasn't comfortably defended, but it was successfully defended. Brahim Diaz. Oh, grabbed by the goalkeeper, who is alert to the possibilities of a counter-attack. Casemir.
What's impressive with Haiti is they're not just prepared just to keep the ball there, the goalkeeper. They want to go on the counter-attack. They want to take this game to their opponent. Not just prepared to sit on this 1-0 goal that they have right now. Playing with a freedom tonight that I've not seen in the competition so far.
Freedom of knowing your fate. Touched on. Beyond the reach of Isidore. Would be truly astonishing, wouldn't it, given the massive difference in the quality of the players available to these two nations, if Haiti were to emerge with a victory despite having nothing but pride to play for.
Well, Morocco made a series of changes coming into this game, obviously looking to their squad, building, looking long term. Let's see if they get that right. Plenty of time, of course, to fix this.
Riyad forward, Saibari trying to shrug off Divine. He was offside, Saibari, as he took control of the pass. That's the man whose skull separates the sides. What a glorious moment it was for him and for all Haitian football fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's that dummy as well, isn't it? Dummy to cross it and then carries it. And the marking, you have to say, I mean, there's been some changes in that defence, but the marking's shocking. But Joseph there, he just improvised lovely just to put that back into the back of the net.
Paddy with the challenge. It'll be a Haiti free kick.
Everybody in a Haiti shirt is just a yard quicker than they've been at any time in this competition so far. They're on it.
And anyone in a Haiti shirt in the stands is quite a few decibels louder.
Without doubt.
Canus, challenged by Divine. Here's was the final touch. Hakimi. Foul by experience.
I think experience is actually just maybe stamped on Hakimi's foot. Something's happening a lot to him in this competition. I don't think it's that bad, that one. See him going down a lot.
Salah Adin. Amrabat.
Salah Adin is supposed to be the left back, but he's playing left wing as well. Hakimi on the right, playing at times as a right winger. Nobody, they're just starting positions, aren't they, for this Moroccan team?
Look at that though from Ruben Providence. You don't see that very often. Achraf Hakimi hustled backwards. He's normally the one doing that in the other direction. Hansel Kabi, who initially kept the ball in play. Brahim Diaz, shot blocked, and then we get the confirmation of what we suspected.
Offside. Yeah, you can see, I mean, it's very close. If he doesn't know the linesman, of course he can't put his flag up. I think it might even have gone out as well there. Bit of variation. Nice long ball over the top, just needs better quality on it and a better timed run.
It's a scoreline that defies all expectations, but
it wasn't in the script.
that's why it keeps us absorbed.
Yeah, 100%. It just shows you. You know, a lot of people criticising England. I think it's quite balanced, what people had to say about them, but you see Morocco struggling as well after such a fine performance in their opening game. You realise it's not going to be easy to win this.
El Kanous, away by Delcroix. Frustration for El Kaabi and Saibari, who were both loitering and were well placed. It just bounces beyond the reach of Providence. Haiti's first ever World Cup win would be a special moment for all involved, but you feel particularly for that talismanic figure, their 38-year-old goalkeeper. 86th cap, second most all-time for Haiti. He's winning tonight.
He looks a huge character in that team.
He's been in and around the team for 15 years now. Big part of the journey to get them here. Saibari up against Ade. Experience away, but only as far as Hakimi. A nervy moment.
It was, could have gone anywhere. Interesting, Morocco looking at the framework of their team. The two fullbacks really high up the pitch, and then they have two tens sit in the pockets, and then two up top. It's not easy to play against.
Hakimi. Wouldn't open up for him to shoot. But it is an effort from Saibari that's forced a save out of Placide.
Saibari there just pulls off his marker. When he sees Hakimi on the run, he knows he's going to be available.
Well, we reached the midway point of the first half. We reached the hydration break with Haiti ahead against Morocco, and news reaching us also of another goal in Miami. And another goal for Brazil, and another defensive error from Scotland to gift Vinicius Junior the most straightforward of tasks.
Oh dear. It's your worst nightmare. Just giving away cheap goals in that manner. Steve Clark must be beside himself with anger.
There is a check on that second Brazil goal. VAR having a look at it. We will confirm whether it has gone 2-0 in favour of Brazil or whether it remains 1-0. I think you know your footballers? Well, scan the QR code to play Who Am I? Guess today's player in as few clues as possible. You can do that on the BBC Sport website and app.
I'm sure those Haiti fans could just see that replay again and again. It's a great moment for them. Lovely football.
A moment that has been a long time coming for a nation that has not seen their team play on home soil since 2021. Their World Cup qualifiers were played in Curacao. The volatility, the unrest at home means that Haiti have been on the road for a long time.
I mean, the manager's never even set foot ever. He's never been set foot in his own country, the Haiti manager.
Well, the Haiti fans still celebrating their goal. The Brazilian supporters are no longer celebrating a second goal against Scotland. It has been ruled out for a foul in the build-up. Relief for Scotland, for whom goal difference could be so significant in whether or not they make it through to the round of 32 as one of the best
Absolutely.
third-place teams.
VAR's come to the rescue.
Here's what else we've got coming up for you in the early hours of the morning. BBC One and iPlayer, 1:45, Group A, the conclusion, Czech Republic against the hosts Mexico. The other game in that group getting underway simultaneously on BBC Two is South Africa against South Korea. And then tomorrow, Thursday evening, Ecuador versus Germany is our live game on BBC One, coverage from 8:30. A little bit later on BBC Two, you can see the other game in that section, Curacao against Ivory Coast. We're now ready, though, to resume at the Atlanta Stadium. Morocco, no doubt having used the hydration break, Martin, unwelcome as they can be sometimes, to get themselves reorganised.
Well, they needed a break, didn't they? Just reassess. Haiti are delighted, and just more of the same, please, is what the manager's saying. We're just saying, weren't we, that he's not actually stepped foot in his own country whilst he's been the manager for Haiti. And nonetheless, he's qualified for a World Cup in the process.
Here comes Saibari. Being chased by Experience, somehow still going, trying to work his way all the way through. Experience comes up with the ball, Amrabat sliding in. Won it firmly, but fairly.
Well, that was a close one. Big tackle from Amrabat. Tabari just kept running and running with that. Almost down a blind alley in the end. Fends off the challenge, and he's really got nowhere to go. Look at the bodies they get round the ball, Haiti there. They're determined not to concede.
They have, on this occasion, conceded a free kick. Lenny Joseph, it was the guilty man. Hakimi. It's a flamboyant effort to steer the ball towards goal. Lots of probing from Morocco, but still just the one relatively tepid shot on target from Saibari.
Yeah, no gilt-edged opportunities, really. You'd expect them to develop the play better.
Diaz. Poked away by Experience. Won back by Salah Adin, but unfairly so. Penalised for his challenge on Casemir.
I mean, they certainly look a lot more compact with the back four. Didn't look comfortable against Brazil with the five. Just gets his foot in the way there, just collects that challenge, doesn't he? Look, steps away from the ball. Very clever there.
The odds were against Morocco finishing top of the group. They'd have needed a favour from Scotland to have achieved that, but they certainly wouldn't have anticipated that they would have their own situation to rectify.
No, but I think, you know, would have been watching other games.
Hakimi is in and has been denied by Placide, who's down again to make the second save. Outstanding goalkeeping.
Well, this is a fantastic through ball. Just opens up that defence, and he makes the first save with his feet. And then look at this for a reaction save down to his bottom left-hand side. First class.
Amrabat. El Kaabi. Surely offside, yes. And I think Johnny Placide has expressed a view that many would share, that flag could have gone up sooner there.
Yeah, what I was about to say before this brilliant through ball was played was that they'd have seen Ghana yesterday against England and been encouraged by a resilient defence. Obviously England dominated possession. Ghana couldn't score, so England couldn't score against them, and they would have seen that and thought, okay, why not us? Bit of hard work, a bit of good organisation. Of course, you've got to score the all-important goal if you want to win it. They've had that moment of inspiration.
As you've just seen, the goal has gone down as an own goal against Morocco's goalkeeper, Yassine Bono.
That's something they've been doing, Steve, in this World Cup. I'm not completely happy with that. I think that would still have gone in. I'm sure we're going to look at it again.
This looks like an uncomfortable one for Salah Ad-Din. Well, Mohamed Ouabi, having picked the same 11 for the opening 2 games, has opted for 4 changes tonight, and as Salah Ad-Din is one of those who's come in and he's landed painfully.
Yeah, he just opened that shoulder up as he's been pushed to the ground. You just see it there, he's falling to one side, a bit unbalanced. He's pointing to a collarbone. Let's see, maybe he's just jarred it.
He's had a successful season, Anas Salah Ad-Din, winning the Dutch title on loan with PSV from Roma. Johnny Placide is important to the current scoreline as the goal that has now gone down as an own goal against his opposite number, that wonderful double save to deny Hakimi and El Kaabi a few moments ago.
Well, that would have done his confidence the world of good.
Providence. Away from Hakimi. But not the subsequent challenge from Hal.
Yeah, he had to be quick there, Hal.
Here's Bellegarde. Stanley Jean-Jacques. Jean-Kevin Duvet. Still Haiti come. And having seen a goal taken off him, Lenny Joseph is trying to do something about making sure he gets one for real.
Well, I mean, you look at him here, the skill set. Look at the strength of him. Look, he's pushing players away. He's finding a journey, a pathway to the goal there. It's only the shot where he probably needs to do better with. Just a bit more controlled, but he's a handful.
Saibari is the latest to go down under a firm challenge, this time from Jean-Kevin Duvet.
This World Cup's becoming a little bit more physical.
You have a problem with that?
No, not at all. The referees don't have a problem either.
Ria.
Thought you were challenging me there, Steve.
Not at all, I was just surprised to hear a complaint of that nature. Brahim Diaz. El Kanous. Salah Ad-Din. Provenance away. No foul on Casemir. Here's Brahim Diaz. Saibari got his head to the ball, but couldn't also find the target.
No, Sabari there. It's really difficult to generate that sort of power. Look, Diaz whips it in, and he's going away from the goal. He does quite well with it. He just can't get it on target.
Isidore. Dealt with by Amrabat. El Kanous. Amrabat ahead of him. Lose because Haiti thought they were deserving of a free kick. Hakimi. El Kanous. Joseph away. It's Casemir.
Certainly this goal has made it a better spectacle for the neutral. It's quite end-to-end. Just wondering what are the odds on Haiti getting another one.
Delegate. Duvin. Haiti have rediscovered some of the spirit that saw them win their final 2 qualifiers to get them to the World Cup, and they are absolutely determined they won't be leaving the World Cup without the win that would be a historic one for them.
Well, interesting, Diaz giving the ball away there under no pressure. These connections not quite there in this 3rd and final game of the group.
Seventh best team in the world, Morocco, in the latest FIFA rankings. In the live rankings, they've actually moved up a place to 6th.
Yeah, but they've taken 2 of their best midfield players out. They've changed the front man and 2 central defenders, so it's quite a disruption to the spine of the team.
Haiti are only the 9th best team in the CONCACAF Confederation. It is a huge gulf between them. But it's Haiti who lead.
I like these 2 front players for Haiti. There's something about them. Just wondering if we'll see another goal. I don't want to just trying to mischievously build a goal that won't come, but I've been really impressed with them.
Brahim Diaz. El Kanous running it. Duvin. Oh, wonderful initially from the goalkeeper, but Achraf Hakimi following in has equalised for Morocco. They've pushed and probed and finally found a way through.
Yeah, and I think the goalkeeper is maybe to blame. He doesn't get any power on that. His clearance, if you look, it's a deflected shot and it just sends the ball spiralling in the air, and then Hakimi, it's kind of like service as we would expect. Morocco back on terms, and that man the furthest forward, the right back Hakimi, just to tap it in quite easily, but not the best of attempts to save that from Placide.
I would imagine that is the scruffiest of the 12 goals he's now scored for his country. They all count the same.
Well, there's a VAR check, is it?
Very quickly checked and cleared, though. Goal rubber stamped after a quick word between Dennis Hiegler, the VAR, and referee Danny Makali. Went through the 2018 and 2022 tournaments without a World Cup goal. Achraf Hakimi has one now. Now all of a sudden Morocco will feel as though the pendulum has swung in their favour. Isidore carrying the ball forward on the charge. Amrabat getting back to him and getting the ball away from him.
Yeah, Isidore there. We've seen him do a whole lot better when he's playing for Sunderland. He just needs to release that ball quicker.
Free kick for the challenge on Brahim Diaz. Alanawi for Hakimi. Up against experience. Hoisted away by Providence. And that decision goes against Lenny Joseph, who feels he was as much wronged as his opponent.
Well, maybe it's an arm. Is it an arm in the face here? Difficult to see from that angle.
Providence. Belaga. Advantage being played here. In from Providence. And so the ball was unfavourable for Isidore, but he's got it now from De Verne. Oh! Extraordinary! A phenomenal goal! Disbelief all around the Atlanta Stadium. Sunderland's Wilson Isidore has fired Haiti back in front in some style.
Wow. Do you know, I thought I'd put the mockers on them. I was saying I thought they could score a second goal. And by the way, that is an incredible strike, Isidore. His previous touch of the ball, he ran with it, and he should have released it. But boy, is he a quick learner, because he's hit this beautifully. Comes in and it's released. Look, he just takes a touch. Takes a touch, comes onto it, and wow, what a strike. Hits it like a bullet right across the goalkeeper into that far right-hand corner. No one's stopping that. Have some of that. Beautiful strike.
In the space of 43 first half minutes, Haiti have doubled their all-time World Cup goal-scoring tally, and even the Morocco fans are impressed by that one.
Well, they're in dreamland. Isidore didn't start the second game. So for me, he's played a bit angry today. I think he only became an international in the autumn. But what a way to introduce yourself to this World Cup. I know it's a consolation, but it's a good way to sign off.
And after Morocco had worked tirelessly to overcome the initial goal they conceded, they've conceded again, and they might be in trouble once more. Haiti believe the spirit is admirable.
It is, but you've got quality as well. You've got two goals now. Isidore and Joseph, okay, it's accredited to the goalkeeper. But Morocco gambled, changed their two central defenders. And they've been found wanting tonight. It's always nice to see the underdog score an unexpected strike, but that, goodness me, that's a great goal.
One of the 12 Sunderland players at this World Cup has scored one of the goals of the World Cup. Hakimi pulled back into a really good area, and Morocco have equalised again, this time almost instantaneously. And it is a third goal of the World Cup for Ismail Saibari.
Do you know, that is a goal of beauty as well. I think you're looking there, 3 passes, look, lovely ball over the top, into the space, get on the end of that, just pull back, and then it's a wonderful finish. That could have been done on the training ground. Lovely pullback, and he just finds the corner beautifully. His third goal of the competition, as you rightfully say, puts them back on level terms.
And it is a notable goal for Ismail Saibari, who becomes the first African player ever to score in all 3 group stage games of a World Cup.
And Haiti are up the other end. I don't think they've even realised that they've conceded.
Well, Hakimi has scored one and created a second for Morocco, who looked like they were heading in at half-time behind, and will feel an awful lot better about things courtesy of that second equaliser of the evening.
Well, we've just had the 4 goals to feed off in that first half. Oof. Got away with one there. If he'd lost that, the counter-attack was on.
We're into 5 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Still time for a bit more drama?
Well, let's hope so.
There's going to be a shootout at the top of the group between Brazil and Morocco for who finished at the summit. Instead, in Atlanta, we've had something of a shootout between these 2 teams.
Well, I mean, we were saying Morocco were a given almost for 3 points, but it's been far from that.
Hakimi just shrugging Spirios aside, and he's away from Provenance as well. Achraf Hakimi glanced away by De Verne before the ball reached El Khanousi, who has to go in pursuit of it. And then finds Salah Adin. Brahim Diaz seems certain to make it 3-2.
Yeah, and Diaz, the Real Madrid player, he hasn't had his usual game. Usually he's excellent. I mean, there, look, you'd back him to put that in. To put that over, I think he's just trying to be a little bit too clever there, trying to find the corner. It would have been a wonderful finish if he put that in from there, but he had a whole goal to aim at.
Salah Adin. Helps on by El Khanous for Saibari. Pouring forward again, Morocco. El Khanous, though, straight at the goalkeeper.
He's certainly been tested, his keeper.
Passing's a little bit ragged now from Haiti under the pressure that Morocco are applying. Brahim Diaz couldn't get his decision-making sorted.
No, he had another moment there.
Hakimi feels he was fouled by Ruben Provenance, who was doing his best to keep up with Achraf Hakimi, and it will be a Morocco free kick.
Well, a definite free kick. Hakimi, he stayed down actually. Maybe it's fatigue. He's certainly a driving force in this team. Can he find the quality once more? Scored one and set one up.
Now looking to send Morocco in with a half-time lead when they've twice been behind. Hakimi's free kick. Well handled by Placide. And that is the final act of an absorbing, thrilling first half in which Haiti led twice, but Morocco have twice managed to respond. 76 places between them in the FIFA World Rankings, but you wouldn't know it on the balance of the way that the game has gone. Both intent to try and win it. Own goal off Bunu and Isidore's thrilling strike, the two that had Haiti in front. Hakimi equalised first and then set up the other equaliser for Saibari, and at half-time it is Morocco 2, Haiti 2. Well, Morocco we knew would dominate possession, and of course they would dominate the efforts at goal. Haiti's 2 efforts on target have both gone in.
Yeah, they were 2 unstoppable goals. They've become well pleased with their night's work so far.
Done. If players come on, they know their role that they've got to try and get to, or the level they've got to try and get to. Again, he goes to his bench, and what a life of luxury to be able to turn to the bench and be able to bring Kramer in the bench, and of course the
for Haiti, who've waited so long. Well, 10 minutes in, and a moment of utter joy and celebration for Haiti, who've waited so long to make an impression on a World Cup. Lenny Joseph with the flick goalwards, and he will be disappointed to discover that that's gone down as a Yassine Bono own goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, Joseph there is brilliant what he does. He gets into an area, nobody picking him up. Good way that the adaptation he makes. He gets a little flick on it. Okay, it comes off the keeper, but you have to credit to him getting in there.
It took Morocco until the 39th minute to equalise, and an error from Johnny Placide not long after he'd made an excellent double save. Couldn't claw the cross away. Hakimi first to react to the loose ball.
No, Placide there just maybe not nimble enough to keep that one out, and Hakimi's determination gets his team back into it. He's been a real driving force, by the way.
Just as it looked like we might be drifting to half-time at 1-1, Wilson Isidore announced himself on the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect strike, isn't it? From distance. What is he, 25, 30 yards out, hits it across the ball. They'll never hit a more truer strike than that. Look, it stays hit. Keeper absolutely no chance.
Becomes the first Haitian in more than half a century to be credited with a World Cup goal.
Yeah, Hakimi again down that right-hand side. And then it's a really nice finish, cultured finish into the back of the net. That's his 3rd goal in this World Cup. Lovely finish, look, just feathers it into the corner. No real celebrations there from the manager, though.
So, 2-2 in Atlanta between Morocco and Haiti at half-time. Earlier on today, the final games in Group B. Switzerland faced one of the co-hosts, Canada. Commentary from Paul Scott and Casey Stoney.
Royler being put under pressure by Buchanan. Well, that's a lovely ball. Mbolo, is he onside? Mbolo with the chance, a brilliant save. Cornelius blocks the follow-up. Fine goalkeeping from Maxime Crepeau.
Just see here, the gap between the centre-backs is too big, and Maxime stands up big, and then a shot against Derek Cornelius' head. So standing up big, taking one for the team.
All over the top, Manzambi can't get on the end of it. He didn't find Mbolo either. Chonier tries to shield the ball, the referee plays advantage. It's played through and the flag has stayed down, and it's Kyle Laren for Canada. He's been forced wide, there's no one in support. Saliba arrives, and Saliba wins the corner. Switzerland appealing for offside, and belatedly, eventually, the flag does go up.
Yeah, it looked offside from here. It looked like he made his run just slightly too early, just needed to hold his run fractionally, and then there was a big space to exploit between and behind.
Royler. He actually scored the winner against Serbia in the final group game in Qatar 4 years ago to put Switzerland through that day. He may be hoping history repeats here in Vancouver. Now Xhaka went to at least pretend to take the free kick quickly. Larin was in the way. And what's the referee's decision going to be here? Because it's all getting a little bit heated. Yellow card for both of them.
Yeah, I think he said, well, you shouldn't have touched it in the first place, and then you can't kick him, you know, so you can both have one.
So goalless here. A little over half an hour played. Canada now with a chance, possibly with David, to launch something on the counter. Larin takes a touch, goes for goal, and forces Kobel into the first real save that the Swiss stopper has had to make. There's something to get the crowd going here in BC Place. So, tries to flick it on. Oh, no, Bolo goes down again. This time he does win the free kick. Larea on the deck as well.
A really dangerous area when you've got people like Xhaka on the pitch.
Rodriguez is there, Akanji too. It is Granit Xhaka, and it is harmless. Over the bar it goes. Chonier looks for Buchanan. Slightly heavy touch. He does well to find Johnston, who finds David, who finds Ahmed, who can only find the goalkeeper. But he's forced into a save and pushes it behind for a corner.
And I'm not sure that was the finish he would have been going for. He would have been going for that kind of shaped finish into the far corner, but he just didn't quite get it right.
Well, Canada enjoy playing in BC Place. They've won their last 5 matches in this stadium. And if they are able to make it 6, they will top the group. Casey Stoney, what will both managers have been saying at half-time?
Well, I think if I was in a Switzerland changing room, I think I'd be saying don't miss the opportunities to break the back line, because they've had quite a few opportunities where they've had good numbers on the back line, good opportunities to play through the spaces, and they haven't quite done it. They've played sideways or backwards, so playing forward quickly and early.
As they've done now, looking for Manzambi. It comes all the way through. Vargas with time to take a touch and find the bottom corner. Switzerland have come to spoil the party. Less than 60 seconds into the second half, and it's Switzerland who open the scoring.
Really positive start from Switzerland. Playing forward, both centre-backs drawn across, overload at the back post. Johnston has to go across. Vargas has too much time, take a touch and finishes it well at the near post.
Well, it looks like a triple change is being readied by Jesse Marsh. He's not wasting any time, just 11 minutes into the second half. At the other end, though, Switzerland with Mbolo. Manzambi to try and finish it off, and he does! It creeps under Crepeau. This is a blistering start to the second half for Switzerland.
Yeah, and again, it's one long ball in behind. A run off the back of the centre-backs. A bounce beats the Fougerolles. And I thought he'd missed the opportunity there. And he lays it off, and Crepeau will be disappointed that he hasn't kept that out. He's got a good hand to it. It's gone underneath him. You can see from here, tries to make the save, and it's a goalkeeping error. It's gone underneath him. Again, there's still lots of time in this game.
Miller picks it up, finds David, who takes a touch. Elvedi sliding in to put it behind for a corner.
And that's fantastic defending.
Promised David comes on, replacing Tejon Buchanan for Canada. To Fougerolles. Saliba, lovely touch from Saliba, lovely ball! Oh, what an impact! It's his first touch! Canada might not be out of this after all! Promised David, off the bench and on the score sheet.
And that's great play from Canada. Ball in behind, and it's all about this touch from Saliba. Unbelievable touch. First time finish. What a goal.
BC Place is rocking now. That's going to be a free kick.
Now it's about the delivery. What area can you get the ball into?
Cistacchio, it's lovely! And it's just wide from Cornelius. They have all the momentum right now.
There will be a minimum of 6 minutes of additional time.
Switzerland hanging on. That's a lovely ball for Cornelius! And the defender out from the back, unable to make clean contact.
That's another great ball. Ball in behind. Do they get in each other's way? Could there be some communication so Cornelius can get some, better contact on it?
And there is still time. Numbers forward for Canada. Flicks on, and Kobel smothers and breathes a sigh of relief for Switzerland.
Good flick on, just doesn't have enough on it to beat the keeper.
Saliba with some space. Miller. Schaffelberg. Time to line it up. There's a header! And that was the chance. Alistair Johnston straight at Kobel.
Yeah, I think that was the moment.
Well, if Canada are going to do it, they're going to do it late. Switzerland let it bounce. Oh, it's spilled by Kobel and collected at the second time of asking.
And if they don't score, it's not for the lack of trying. They're trying to get the balls into the right areas, trying to get chances on goals.
Well, that might be that. Cornelius just following up. Kobel didn't have the ball under control. It was Cornelius's right to try and challenge for it. Switzerland top Group B, and they reach the knockout stages of the World Cup once again. They've beaten the co-host Canada.
So Switzerland's win against Canada means they top the group. They'll play a third-placed team in the last 32. Canada reached the knockout stage for the first time despite defeat. They will play the runners-up from Group A, with that group concluding later tonight. All the World Cup goals are available on the BBC Sport website and app, and of course the iPlayer too. The other game in our group, Group C, is happening now in Miami. BBC One for that one. For Scotland versus Brazil, here's the best of the first half action with Liam McLeod and James McFadden.
Oh my God. That's a mistake, and Vinny Jr.'s in, and he will roll Brazil in front. And it's an absolute nightmare at the back. And a gift for Vinicius Jr., and McKenna knows it. And Henry's had that nicked off him, and Vinny's in again, and it's another gift! Catches him the right leg here. It is ruled out. No hands to the pump here. Guimaraes gets it across, and Vinicius Jr. does make it two! And this time it will stand!
So Brazil beating Scotland 2-0 at half-time, 2-2 here between Morocco and Haiti. Now that's what it means for Group C with 45 minutes to play. Brazil are going through top of the pile with 7 points. Morocco would join them finishing in second, and it would be wait and see for Scotland as to whether 3 points and their goal difference was good enough to take them through as one of the best third-placed teams.
Give it up for the greatest of all time.
Lionel Messi shows his genius again.
They made impossible feel like it was possible.
Your superstar lineup of unforgettable characters.
There's God, and there are the Peaky Blinders.
And absolute icons.
The stakes couldn't be higher. Please do continue to enjoy your supper.
From football legends to TV royalty, watch them all on BBC iPlayer.
Oh my God.
So weird, I don't remember posing for this.
Because you didn't. You were in rehab when we sat for this.
That's right, we had your face painted on the body of my assistant.
That's why you look so good.
Well, I love it.
Schitt's Creek. Watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
So Morocco return ahead of the second half with some work to do. They will perhaps accept that the reality of the situation is that Brazil are going through as group winners. But until that has been determined. There are 3 points.
Goal scorer as well, Budimir. I mean, this is what Croatia have done. They have produced an amazing amount of talented players, and you've got a coach there that believes in this group, and this group believes in the coach, and magic can happen. I can't say that Croatia are the same Croatia of the past. They're not as clinical, they're not as dangerous, but they still are as talented, right? And I think that if you can get the very best out of these individuals, and as a team you can clearly see they stick together, there'll be a problem in this competition. Not many people are speaking about Croatia going far or deep in this competition. They're actually quietly going about their business in a very positive way. The England game was always going to be tough for them. This was a better defensive performance, and of course when you have as much possession of the ball as they did do against a team that sits back in a low block, you would expect that to happen. But I was waiting for these moments of magic, like where are they going to get that goal to break down that low block? And Modric was excellent once again with his passing. He always was going to keep possession of the ball. But Stanisic on that right-hand side, just waiting for that moment of magic. Budimir off the bench, scoring goals, doing what he does best. Became the oldest goal scorer in a World Cup for Croatia as well, replacing his assistant coach, Ivica Olic, who's on the bench for them. It's an amazing group, Adam. It's hard not to admire what Croatia have done.
Just overwhelmed them could be what we expect to see in the second half.
Well, with belief no doubt coursing through their veins, Haiti get us back underway. Heading home after this they might be, but they would love to be departing the World Cup having caused quite a significant upset, getting the better of a team ranked 76 places ahead of them. Here's Salah Adin, who has returned despite requiring treatment on what looked at one point to be a pretty nasty shoulder injury. Made 4 changes ahead of the game, Morocco, having opted not to make any in the opening couple of games. Haiti made a couple of changes, bringing in Wilson Isidore and Lenny Joseph. And those are alterations that proved to be very worthwhile because they both had a big say. Lenny Joseph, the final touch from a Haiti player before the Bono own goal. And Wilson Isidore with one of the very best that we've seen so far at this World Cup.
I don't think there's anything wrong with using all of your squad members and mixing it up. You just got to get the necessary results. They're given a bit of extra time here. I do expect Morocco, if they don't score in the next 10 minutes, to make those necessary changes.
Top 2 in Group C, incidentally, will play the corresponding teams in Group F. So Netherlands, Japan or Sweden are waiting at the moment, Brazil and Morocco. If Scotland do manage to finish third and are in a strong enough position to be one of the best placed third-place teams, then it's either Germany, Mexico or the winners from Group I. And that would be France or Norway.
Goodness.
It's quite a lineup of teams awaiting those who progress from this group, Group C.
It is. You certainly want to win the group if you can.
Delcroix clears as far as Amrabat. El Canous. A little bit too much on the cross.
Yeah, as you say, just a little bit too much. Doesn't quite get the whip on it, El Canous, that he wants. Into a decent area, though.
Worth seeing again?
Well, obviously the producer wants to see it again and again, and I suppose you'd never tire of seeing that. Incredible hit. Beautiful.
I think one or two will still be catching their breath.
Well, look at the faces. There's the shock and horror that they've done it.
Might not be finished yet. Here's Casemir. Off Salah Adin for the throw.
Casemiro there takes a lovely through ball from Bellegarde. It's just not sure why he doesn't try and take on his opponent there. He plays an impossible pass, it gets blocked.
Jean-Luc Bellegarde didn't get much in the way of a winning feeling with Wolves during the course of the Premier League season. His season to end with an unlikely victory, albeit in the colours of his country rather than his club. Amrabat, who had that season on loan with Manchester United from Fiorentina.
Didn't work out for him.
No.
I have to say, I'm not sure he's going to force his way into the best 11 for the next game. The two midfield players been dropped out for tonight.
El Khanous, formerly of Leicester, now of Stuttgart. Salah Adin, way off experience as far as Amrabat. Al-Anawi. El Khanous. Brahim Diaz. El Khanous first to the loose ball. Amrabat for Saibari. Morocco, an early second half corner.
Just starting to turn the screw here a little bit, Morocco. Really good movement from those front players.
Dating back to January 2024, Morocco are unbeaten in competitive fixtures and have won 19 of the 22 of them. They are not used to anything other than victories, but they're having to work hard for one against Haiti. El Khanous short to Brahim Diaz with the corner.
They also won 8 of their qualifying matches, all 8 of them.
Brahim Diaz. Way back at it. And into touch. Safety first from Ruben Providence. El Khanous, purposeful. Deflects back towards him. Hakimi. Jean-Jacques. Just a moment of excitement.
Did well there. Jean-Jacques wins it. Was tempted, wasn't he, to play a long ball, but instead he goes back, tries to keep possession for his team. This is what they've got to do, Haiti. Got to get that balance right from retaining possession and then trying to counter-attack.
Was involved in both of the pre-World Cup warm-up games, Sofiane Amrabat, so he's clearly a player who's in Mohamed Ouabi's thoughts. Joseph. He's going to be penalised there. Enthusiasm getting the better of him. Neil Al-Anawi retreating.
He just showed, I mean, a clean pair of heels there to the defender. What about the pace? But he forgot to take the ball with him. I think if I was playing with him, I'd be encouraging him. You've got to keep giving him the ball. These front players, in a 1v1 situation, they definitely got the pace to beat their men around them.
Diaz gave up the chase when he recognised it was a cause he would not prevail from.
And there's definitely enough pace in their own defence. Ade's been eye-catching at the back.
Clash of heads, which is why we've got a stoppage. It's Josue Casemiro who is hurt. Morocco player involved.
Well, Salahuddin doesn't look as if he's hurt at all, so we're just having a look there. It's obviously a clash of heads. Never like to see that. I think he's okay. Certainly let out a screech when it happened.
I wonder whether Danny McAlee is not satisfied, the referee, that Joshua Casimir doesn't just need to be assessed a little bit further in terms of the concussion protocol. He's sent him to the sidelines. Maybe that is just a matter of a formality.
I think he's okay. He'll have to sit there for 60 seconds though first. I'd let him straight on because it's a head injury.
Just seemed to be shaking his head at one point, the Dutch referee there, as though he thought further, more thorough assessment was required. These are things that we need to be very careful with. Joseph trying to find Isidore. The Bother brothers up front for Haiti today.
They could just find a slightly better relationship between the two of them. They could do special things. I mean, they've already done that. But to win this game would be amazing. And they're probably the match winners if they can do it.
Considered themselves unfortunate, Haiti, to lose to Scotland in their opening game. In terms of the offensive positions they were able to create, the shots they had at goal, thought they might have been worthy of something, and they would have had something to play for tonight. Wasn't defending to do now. And a cross, it's a tap in surely for Saibari, who at full stretch couldn't get there, offside anyway.
Well, that was a tease all round, wasn't it? Saibari couldn't reach it, and then it doesn't matter because he's offside. Now the linesman can see that, and we were told that these linesmen were going to put their flags up early. I'm not sure what's happened to that briefing. Saibari's blushes have been rescued by the flag.
And imagine if he'd collided with the post in a situation with a delayed flag. Bono has timed that absolutely superbly. Hakimi. Brahim Diaz. Not given away by Providence. Attacking opportunity surrendered. And in the end, the challenge on Brahim Diaz leads to a corner, just as it looked as though Haiti were out of shape.
Yeah, I think it's Balaguer who gets back. I'm not actually sure he gets to that, but does he actually make contact on the ball? He's just caught his opponent there, but the foot goes away. Diaz moves his foot away from the line of the ball. I wonder, can I look at this?
Well, no further investigation as to whether or not it's going to be a penalty, but it will be a goal kick rather than a corner.
Well, then it was a foul, wasn't it? So the Moroccan player gets to the ball, puts it out for a goal kick, and in doing so he was fouled, but they don't go back.
You're the expert. I'm just here to shout names and numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the VAR gone to sleep a little bit, or we don't want them interfering, in all fairness. I mean, it was an innocuous challenge. To get a penalty for that would have been maybe a bit too much. Haiti don't deserve that.
They certainly would have felt hard done by. Maybe it's Morocco who, when they get a chance to reflect further upon that, will be the ones asking questions, especially if this game finishes as it currently is. Saibari is looking to make sure that that doesn't happen. Brahim Diaz with the layoff. Hakimi's cross took a deflection, and Ricardo Ade opts to make sure that the ball is safely out of play for a corner.
Well, he might regret that. He's just sort of just kicked it out anywhere. And that's not really, if you want to be a top defender, what you do. You look to try and clear that ball as much as you can, try and avoid these situations, but nonetheless it's a corner to Morocco.
Headed away as far as El Khanous. Placide comes up with a huge save.
Great stop. He would have seen that late.
Carby makes his presence felt and thinks he's won a corner, and again a decision goes against Morocco. And unlike what we've just seen with a corner reverse to a goal kick, the protocol doesn't work the other way.
No. Placide, though, makes a really good save there just before that. They look strong at the back.
He's made a couple of excellent saves. He was culpable for the first equaliser.
Yeah, and it bounces. Oh, he manages to get to it. So I suppose it's one of those that you look. He's got to look round those players, so he sees it fairly late. He just wants to get that away from harm's way.
Good stop from the former Oldham Athletic goalkeeper.
Good knowledge.
2017-18 season at Boundary Park. Hakimi. Providence sliding in. Hakimi has thrown his opponent to the turf. Martin Experience.
Well, it's taking two players to deal with him. I think there's an arm as well. Look, he puts an arm out there. He's certainly a physical, aggressive player, isn't he, Hakimi?
Doesn't believe the decision given against him was the correct one. Wasn't pulled out with by Ade. From Casemir was in vain. But now Haiti have got the ball. What can they do with it? Bellegarde surging, but not making a decision when one was required.
Well, Bellegarde there, honestly, he has just got to release that ball to one of the front players.
Hakimi. Off Amrabat to Bellegarde, who is going to be penalised for his challenge on Redouan Halhal.
Well, Bellegarde there, he's jogged back, the ball's come to him, he's asleep, he's half asleep. And he gives the ball away again, he gets another opportunity to redeem himself. We shouldn't be too hard on them. I mean, it's remarkable that they're still in the game here. We're into over an hour now and they're still level pegging here.
Providence running at Halhal, and he's been fouled right on the very edge of the penalty area by Ayoub El Kaabi.
That's what happens when a centre forward has to come back and defend. Providence turns away from him. It's a bit lazy, really, that he's turned away and then he's just tried to swipe for the ball. He's got no chance of getting to that. Just turns away and then he gets fouled. Perfect view of it, the referee.
Cameras everywhere now. Haiti. Bellegarde with the opportunity, which he fires straight into the wall. Experience. Thread it in behind for Bellegarde, and now look at this. Exactly the kind of situation that Morocco love. The defender's getting back, one of them, Ade. Sends the ball only just clear of his own crossbar.
Well, he's done well to actually nearly get that on target. I think he's so concerned about getting back, he just gets a foot out. And thankfully, he puts it over the bar, which would have been embarrassing.
Kanous with the corner to Hakimi. No let up from Morocco. Hakimi has lost possession and isn't available to help with the retreat, and that is unlucky. There has been a goal in the second half in Miami. It is a third goal for Brazil against Scotland, scored by Matheus Cunha. And Scotland's hopes of progressing to the round of 32 dwindle with every goal that Brazil score.
Yeah, it's about keeping that score down for Scotland. Slipping through their hands, I'm afraid.
Saibari. Hoped to have a play off Hannes Delcroix, who left Burnley in January for Lugano in Switzerland. Never really happened for him at Turf Moor.
Looks good though, doesn't he, tonight?
El Kanous. That'll be a free kick for the challenge by Saibari on Isidore.
You still feel that on the counter-attack, Haiti could get something with these two front players. He's just having the time, and there's a few changes here, so maybe that might change things.
Well, Providence is one of those coming off. Isidore as well, the scorer of that thrilling, extraordinary second Haiti goal. And he is getting a deserved ovation for one of the great moments in Haitian football, certainly at the World Cup.
It's a shame to see him go off, because I still feel he had something to offer. He just wasn't getting that service that he required.
He's made his mark on the World Cup. What about now Duckens Nazon, Haiti's all-time leading goal scorer, getting involved in the World Cup for the first time. Lucius Dietzen is the other who's been introduced. He started the game against Scotland. Amrabat. It's going to be a free kick. Delcroix unimpressed. We won't see the free kick taken until after everyone's had the opportunity to take a drink.
Something I'm not comfortable with. I like them to finish the action. I'm not sure they should stop it when there's a corner or a free kick. Just finish the action and then they let them have their rest after that.
Well, while we are having a break for drinks, a good opportunity to tell you that if you scan the QR code on your screen right now, you can have your say on BBC Sports Player Rater. Martin, if you were getting involved, who would you be picking out as your player to rate from this game?
Well, Isidore's just gone off. Will be one of them. Joseph, another. Ade at the back, I like, actually. They're all Haiti players. It's not been a great night from Morocco. Maybe Hakimi's probably the only player who has played his usual game.
Plenty more to come from the World Cup here on the BBC. In the early hours of the morning, we switch our attention to Group A. Co-hosts Mexico, they finish against the Czech Republic. BBC One and iPlayer from 1:45. And a few minutes after that on BBC Two, you can see the other game in Group A between South Africa and South Korea. Still plenty to play for there, although Mexico locked in at the top of Group A. Similar situation, isn't it, in Germany's group, Group E. They are certain to go through as group winners and finish against Ecuador. You can see that tomorrow at 8:30 on BBC One and iPlayer. Alternatively, 10 to 9 on BBC Two for Curacao and Ivory Coast. Incredibly, Curacao, the smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup, are still in with a slim hope of progress. Morocco's progress is pretty clear, but their path through the knockout stages would be made easier if they could somehow overhaul Brazil at the top of the group. Seems highly improbable that that will happen now. They are using the very final few seconds of the hydration break to make some alterations. El-Kabi, Brahim Diaz and Saibari, the scorer of the second Morocco goal, have all gone off. On come Jessim Yassin, Sofiane Rahimi and Azzedine Unahi. Restart with the Morocco free kick. It's a good one. And there was a chance for Hal that was turned aside by Delcroix.
Well, Hal's got a decent scoring record. He nearly gets in on that far post. Might have been offside anyway. Getting each other's way a little bit. No real communication there.
A decision that has gone against Dietzen, who's one of those who's not long since come on for Haiti. The three who've just been introduced for Morocco, Azzedine Unahi was one of the four that dropped out of the starting lineup today. So one of those exceptional midfielders that you've picked out, Martin, has been sent on for Morocco to see if he can help them get this game won.
Yeah, that's what they need as well in that central area. I think it's the one department they haven't really been their usual selves.
Amrabat. Bellegarde was caught as he attempted to get Haiti moving forward. Ade's been unable to get the ball away. And it's going to be a free kick. Haiti in their endeavours to regroup. Been penalised. Rahimi feels as though he was dealt with in a heavy-handed fashion.
Well, Rahimi coming on up top. They've changed completely Morocco, their front two. Look, he's been pulled back there. No doubt about it. Referee right on top of it. Ade there just Couldn't move, could he? So strong. Unnecessary, though.
Justin Yassin is the player deep in conversation with his captain. Relative international novice against a player with one cap shy of 100 over who takes this free kick. It's Hakimi, straight into the heart of the wall and then drives it at Ricardo Ali with the follow-up effort.
I think there was no doubt about who was taking that. I wonder if he gets the next one.
Martin experience, but for a throw rather than a corner. Verdict was that it came off Casemir last, and Morocco were not hanging around. Sense of pride that they want to win the game tonight, even if the fact that Brazil are so far ahead now against Scotland, it's not going to make a huge difference to which of them finishes first and second.
They just want to keep that momentum, that winning momentum going. A bit more control now in the game. Unahi in that midfield is a good addition, there's no doubt about that.
Rahimi for Amrabat. Hakimi. Long way through for him. El Kanous. Rahimi. Behind the queue of targets he had available to him, here's Yassin. Hakimi giving the ball away. Nazon runs into Amrabat, who takes the ball away from him. Nade had to get his feet sorted out to make sure he dealt with the ball across the face of goal.
Yeah, we've said it more than once. Ade showing really good pace there to get back. Just looking at this challenge here, Amrabat. Ade there felt that one. I wondered if there might be an offside, but Ade couldn't worry about that. He shows good pace again, just to intercept that cross.
It remains all hands on deck at the back for Haiti. Ade doing his bit there. Delcroix with the assistance to get him back on his feet and ready for this corner, which has been dealt with at the expense of another. And it comes again, the corner. Rahimi deflected and in. And having been behind twice, Morocco are now in front. Substitute Sofiane Rahimi with the goal.
Well, ever since he's been on, he's looked sharp. He looked decisive. And that's a clinical finish. Look what it means to them. We're talking about goal difference here. They want this win desperately. Competition for places. Rahimi, just watch how sharp he is when it falls to him. Look, just spins on it, takes a touch. Back of the net. He thought about taking his shirt off, by the way, and then thought better of it. Lovely little touch, sorts his feet out. Slight deflection there. From experience, I hope that doesn't get given to go down as an own goal, because there's been too many of those in this competition, and that's very much down to his brilliance there.
It took a big slice off Ricardo Ade, and Hannes Delcroix couldn't adjust to send it wide. And on a day when Haiti have twice led and twice believed that they might be able to accomplish something that they've never previously done at a World Cup, they suddenly find themselves behind against the semi-finalists of 4 years ago.
Yeah, look at him there. He's about to take that shirt off and think, you know what? It's an easy booking. Just keep my powder dry. Well, there's another 11 minutes or so. They'll be trying to get more goals.
An immediate reaction to conceding is to send on Dominique Simon and Carlens Arcas. Deverne is withdrawn, and Jean-Jacques is the other who is making way. Arcas back into the action. He was the player effectively sacrificed from the Haiti back five that we saw against Brazil to give them a slightly more dynamic look in terms of scoring goals for themselves.
Yeah, and you don't need five at the back. I think they're comfortable in a four. They understand the system better. It suits their players. They've got enough pace at the back.
Twice seen their advantage snuffed out. What can Haiti do about the lead that Morocco now have?
Well, they'll feel that they deserve something from this match.
Minutes and stoppage time. Morocco away from a 7th win at a World Cup. That would be a record for African nations, surpassing the 6 they currently share with Ghana and Nigeria. Might not be finished yet. Here's the scorer of the goal that has put Morocco in front, Rahimi.
And I wonder, I'm just looking at Joseph, who looks like he's a little bit out on his feet, and maybe Isidore should have stayed on and he should have been the one that was sacrificed. Maybe he proves me wrong when he gets another goal.
Another one by Ade. He's put himself about, hasn't he, in the defensive cause. He will be distraught to have got that decisive touch on the ball that has led to Morocco leading and joining Brazil on 7 points, but goal difference, goals scored, still in Brazil's favour. Salah Adin is off. So too Al-Anawi. Manchester United's Nusayr Mazraoui back into the World Cup action for Morocco, and so too Samir El Mourabet. Mazraoui did start the other 2 games at left back. He's going to finish this one there.
Joseph has been taken off as well.
Francis Pierrot is the one who has come on up front for Haiti, the striker who started the previous 2 games in Group C. He has struggled for goals in recent times. Let's try and keep their composure, emotions in check.
They do. I think it was the right call taking Joseph off. I just said it, and the manager obviously has seen it as well. It's gone very bitty, this game. Lost any kind of rhythm.
Marcus with the throw. Well, Morocco was striving for rhythm at every other stage of the game. I guess now they're 3-2 up, that won't necessarily be something that disappoints them.
I just think they just want that win, don't they? Just to get to the number of points that they need. Then they're comfortable, keeps the momentum going. Squad players have had an opportunity to play. Rahimi gets off the bench and scores another goal, so, you know, it's good for the confidence.
Rahimi awaiting another cross, this time potentially from Hakimi, swept away by Delcroix. El Salvador have played more World Cup games than Haiti without picking up a point, and unless they can do something about it in the time that remains, it will be played 6, lost 6 is their World Cup record. Still 3 in 1974.
I mean, that's what happens, isn't it? When you've got these emerging nations, you've extended it from 32 teams to 48. You know, maybe the standard suffers a little bit. I think they're giving a good account of themselves. We know that there's an awful lot of problems in their own country, but nonetheless, they've still managed to get a team to a World Cup somehow. Had to qualify outside of their own country to do that. I think they can be proud of what they've done.
They are still determined to do something. Pass is misplaced. Rahimi. El Kudus. El Mourabet. Blocked by Experience. He couldn't carry the ball away from complete danger, Amrabat.
This is what we expected to see from Morocco at the start, is their short passing in those triangles that they set up.
Farkas for the throw. Well, must have considered it, Mohamed Ouabi, that he calculated gamble to change what had been a successful formula. Now they, grappling with Rahimi, has conceded the free kick.
Great turn, by the way. Look how he just sucks him in. Look, he looks over his shoulder, knows he's tight, and he tries to turn him. Should be a book in that. This is the goal. Again, good quality. I'll probably find it's been accredited as an own goal at some point.
There's a flurry of yellow cards in Haiti's protests about the goal that's seen them fall behind.
Oh, discipline, they can't do that.
Hakimi's free kick tipped over by Placide, who has been stretched at times but has responded more often than not.
Yeah, you'd expect him to make that save. Good power on it, though.
An icon of Haitian football, keeping his nation in with a chance of getting something from this game. He's still got some more defending to do as Hakimi delivers. Ade clears as far as Rahimi, whose shot is immediately charged down. Ouabi. Rahimi. The ball's not gone out of play. Chance for a fourth. Converted by Jassim Yassine. It's all falling apart for Haiti. Confusion and indecision punished.
Oh, we're just waiting for clarification to see if that goal from Yassin will stand. I mean, it looked as if the defender was there, and he tries to put his body in, and God, do you know, I think it is. It doesn't go out, and the defender stops. That ball has not gone off the pitch. We're just waiting for confirmation of that.
It's tight. All of the ball over all of the line, remember.
Do you know, the defender, though, how many times do you see that where the defender just tries to just ferry it out of play? He's got punished there. We'll wait to see.
Credit where due, Soufiane Brahimi, for staying alert.
He did brilliantly. He's looked good since he's come on, Brahimi. He can't settle for a moment around him. He's adamant, isn't he, that he gets to that ball before it went out of play.
It is Dennis Hiegler, the VAR, poring over the images. And no doubt zooming in on those images to be absolutely sure one way or another.
I wonder if the players are actually in the way of the technology somehow. They're so close to that touchline.
Stand by. There you go. From the mouth of the referee, who confirms not all of the ball went over all of the line. And it is a goal to confirm a Morocco victory. They've had to go the long way about achieving it. But Yassin's first international goal is a goal at the World Cup to make it Morocco 4, Haiti 2.
Well, I was pretty adamant that the ball had stayed in play, and all this technology we were proved correct. And in the end, it's just a little tap in. Brahimi, though, you have to say, look, he doesn't give up on this ball, does he? Look, and he just gets a little foot in there. Does well for his endeavours. And Yassin couldn't miss. The scoreline, though, I feel is flattering Morocco a little bit. You have to give it to Haiti. It's already an upset for me, what we've seen so far, to go in 2-2 at half-time, and the game looks lost for them now.
And a demonstration by showing the strength of character and the resolve to dig deep and turn things around. Morocco, that they have got the capability to once again be a contender in the very, very late stages of this World Cup. They are going to be going through with Brazil from Group C, and they are a team that not too many will relish having to face.
No, that's for sure. But I think with the difference between these two teams, obviously there's a lot of quality in the Moroccan team, but the strength in depth, when the substitutes were made for Haiti, the team went backwards. It didn't improve it, shall we say. With Morocco, it only got better.
And now the challenge on Yassin, which was unnecessarily aggressive from Casimir. He's apologised for it, but it won't spare him a yellow card.
It's one of those very tired challenges at the end of a very long season.
Too tired to get there in time, but not too tired.
He got there as quick as he could.
Well, once they've brushed off the disappointment, Haiti, they will have to make sure that it's not another 52 years before they get a chance to grace the World Cup.
Well, they've got a couple of collector's items with their goals. They'll be looking for another one here.
A free kick right at the very end of the game. Duckens Nazon fouled. Referee has heard those appeals for a set piece.
I think Nezon, is it Nezon who wants to take it? It's my foul. It's my free kick.
Smells at Wolves, where he never made an appearance. Coventry, Oldham and St Mirren, Duckens Nazon, but best known for being the all-time leading goal scorer in the colours of Haiti.
Well, I'd love to see this go in.
Will be Duckens Nazon, who won the free kick and takes it and forces a flying save out of Yassine Bono.
What's a great effort. Look at this. I mean, you expect the keeper to save that. It's at a good height for him, but just a bit more on it. A bit more height, and that's in the back of the net.
From the corner. Another effort that was on the target, but was blocked by a head, and that is the reason for the stoppage. That's a sore one.
Traore there's on the deck, and a lot of panic around him. Took a really heavy fall there. He's conscious. Yeah, you can see the reaction. It's actually the ball hits him in the face. Just having a look at that for a sweetly struck strike. Good hand to that.
Nothing to do in the second half prior to that moment. Might be the first shot he saved all evening.
Yeah, just a few people concerned here.
And Sofiane Amrabat, who was the player who blocked the effort from Jean-Luc Bellegarde. Good to see Sofiane Amrabat on his feet.
He looked quite dazed when it initially happened. And I wonder, was he seeing stars at that point? I mean, obviously, you know, you were saying earlier in the game about protocol here for head injuries, but for me, he didn't look right there at all. The way that he fell, he should be going straight off.
Yeah, there's no reason, no need for him to return. Casemir. Playing with 10 for now, Morocco. It's no trouble whatsoever for Bono. He's got thoughts about another Morocco goal at the other end, glanced on by Brahimi. Placide comes, unconventional, and not properly dealt with, not at the first time around anyway.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to see him make a mistake. Another one.
Didson with the ball forward.
It's admirable the way that Haiti are just still going for it, even now.
Sofiane Amrabat is waiting to come back on. Well, Morocco conclude Group C with a victory. They had to navigate a long route towards it, twice behind before responding in the first half. Their second half dominance leading them to the victory, secured by one substitute, Sofiane Brahimi, finally getting them in front. and then showing an awareness to tee up Jessim Yassine for his first Morocco goal to make absolutely sure that they finish Group C with 7 points. For Haiti, who've contributed so much and led twice, including through Wilson Isidore's thrilling second goal, they once again depart a World Cup empty-handed. They will need to retreat and try and go again. Full time at the Atlanta Stadium. Morocco 4, Haiti 2. And this is what the final games in Group C have done to the table. Brazil's 3-0 victory over Scotland will clinch top spot for them on goal difference. That has just finished now. 3-0 to Brazil. The 2 Vinicius Junior goals and 1 from Mateus Cunha in the second half. So they top the group with 7 points and a goal difference of +6, just ahead of Morocco, who have the same number of points, but 3 goals worse off in the goal difference column for Scotland. How impactful could the margin of that defeat to Brazil be? Will 3 points and a -3 goal difference be good enough for them to go through? Well, on 10 minutes, Haiti got themselves in front, and after a wait of 52 years and 24 hours, they finally had a World Cup goal to celebrate.